Hello everyone, it's Rick. It is June the 18th, 2017. That never changes. I got a bunch of days before that changes. If you need to contact me, it's rick0327@me.com. Now, we're this boat together because it's Happy Father's Day. We're all being extorted because we all have one thing in common. We're all fathers. So, I gotta make a video on Father's Day. So I wish all of you guys, my subscribers, Happy Father's Day. Even the haters and the trolls, Happy Father's Day to you too. I'm sorry you're wasting all this energy disliking me and my videos and what I have to say. But I got over 3,200 people that like me. I must be doing something right. I must be connecting with a few people. And you know who you are. You're that idiot that comes in my comments section and tries to show me up, or you make a stupid comment, or you preach, but you don't have the balls to do this yourself. You don't have the balls to run your own channel with your 8 subscribers and no videos, which makes you a troll, and you know who you are. How the fuck do you have 8 subscribers and no videos? Explain that one to me. And you're not in Google Plus. You have all the telltale signs that you're a troll. And you're hating on me. Because you know that the message I'm getting out is very accurate. Especially now with my new discovery with the Coram non judice. I made it sound Italian. I'm calling it Judici. It's Judice. Sorry guys, but doesn't matter the way I pronounce it. So long as we write it right and that we have a Supreme Court decision backing it up is even greater, excuse me. Because the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, that all laws made in pursuance of the Constitution and law and equity, Article 6, Section 2, the Supremacy Clause, means that decision by the Supreme Court trumps or supersedes all these lower court decisions and these bullshit child support procedures and laws, administrative laws. Doesn't mean shit. It means that any judgment, remember I said the other day, and I said it the other day before I discovered this gem, the Coram non judice. Before I discovered it, I made it, I made my statement that all support orders are void. Well, the Supreme Court feels the same as me. So I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Give myself a pat in the back. And then because I have the Coram non judice on the title of my video, and it's also, when you make a video, you put the keywords in, so when people search, it comes right up, so I can reach more people. Another video came up from this guy, Rod Class, and he's very well known in the YouTube world, and for people like us who are taking on the courts without the use of the co-conspirator, the attorney. So he had a video. If you want to look it up, it might even be on the sidebar. Watch the video. I found it yesterday. I was getting a haircut, and I was in the barbershop waiting, and I just found it and I started watching it, and you know, it made me feel really good because I discovered this on my own by, you know, because I'm always looking, guys, for you guys. I don't sit back and I'm always looking to improve the paperwork. And apparently this is it. You know, this is very strong. And what I remember, I always said that what you know, what gives the court jurisdiction? I've always said this from the beginning. Evidence. Remember I said jurisdiction comes from evidence. Well, Rod said the same thing. But the court doesn't have jurisdiction. The court, it gets jurisdiction from the evidence introduced by the petitioner, the claimant, who's making a claim against you, against me. You know, my ex-wife made a claim against me. She never introduced a single piece of evidence. I spent over $1,000 on transcripts, which they doctor, by the way. So anybody out there, when you get these transcripts, they doctor them. You know, I called the transcription company because the sport magistrate made like a ruling. Oh no, we're not going to do that. So I remember where it was. Now this is, get this is fucked up. So I'm going over the transcription, and it's on page 77, right? And the this is when I had an attorney. So my attorney and my ex-wife's attorney, they're going at it, and my attorney was going, well, she made a ruling on that. Page 78 was missing. So the paperwork went from page 77 to page 79. I called up the transcription company. I got the girl on the phone. She found it in 30 seconds. I'm not exaggerating. And then, you know, because I have a pretty good memory for that stuff. I'm like, I remember all the things I said. You know, I wasn't recording the hearings back then. And I wish I had. Anyway, I call back. I get the girl on the phone. I'm like, you know, there's something wrong here. It's a lot of words that I said are missing. You know, I need to speak to somebody. So she's like, well, the owner will be, you know, I go, no, I said, I want to speak to the owner. So I was supposed to go the next day. I put it off for a few days. I didn't show up there till the following week. Well, I'm telling you, when I got there, I walked through the door. The girl saw me, ran to the back, got the owner. The owner ran over to me, and I'm like, you know, we got a big problem here. And then I told him, you know, I like, and stuff like this, I like to tell these people you know, I'm a former police officer. And plus, you know, I know this stuff because I told you guys, you guys heard it a bunch of times, but I have new subscribers. So, you know, they may not know this. I'm a former police officer, and I was in court a lot, so I know what I'm talking about. And I go to the guy, I go, you know, I need to see I want a copy of the original recordings. Oh, I can't give you that. I go, what do you mean you can't give it to me? That's my evidence. I swear to God, he goes, oh, what do you want to do? You want me to lose my best customer? In other words, if he was to show me what's going on, he's gonna piss off Queens Family Court, and they're no longer gonna recommend him as a vendor. How fucked up is that? So this stuff goes very deep, this fraud. I mean, the transcription companies are in on it. From what I heard, there's a button that the presiding officer, what are they going to call it? Well, we're going to call him the non-judicial person from now on, or fake judge, right? So the non-judicial person or fake judge apparently holds down a button and they stop recording, or does something. So that shows you what they're. I mean, it goes very, very deep. But getting back to my original point. This is huge for everybody, by the way, that every support order issued, and now this only goes for people that have support orders issued by, you know, the people we always talk about, the commissioners, the friend of the court, associate judge, I believe, because the associate judge is not, an associate judge is not a judge. Whatever they're called, wherever you are, you know, support magistrate, as I always say, anything issued by them is void. We know it now because we have the Supreme Court case. Burnham, Burnham versus Superior Court. It's in my, I believe it's on the, my last video. And what I did now is I took that, that citation, and it can't get any. It's so great for us because the Supreme Court is saying that the proceeding was not judicial because there was no judicial officer present in the room. Therefore, the judgment is void. How great is that? I mean, I've been looking for, a Supreme Court decision about that. I can never. There's always those same, void judgment. I'm sure all you guys out there who are doing the research, we've all seen the same citations about the void judgments. I also put it in my paperwork, with the study materials. All right, but because if you do any research, you rarely see any Supreme Court decisions on family court, because we know it never gets that far because these people are protected. I mean, seriously protected. I mean, like, I tried suing in federal court and completely stonewalled. So, but now because of the quorum non judice, it opened another avenue for us. So I took the citation and I added it to my other paperwork. I have in the paperwork, I have set aside a void judgment paperwork. It's in there. That's very strong now because of this. All right, huge. So what you could do with that is you take that to the higher court. So you're going to take that to, and it's set aside, void judgment, writ of error, quorum nobis. All right, what it is that there's an error was made in a lower court, and you need the higher court to fix it. All right, and I believe this is the way we're going to go. Remember, I've been saying for a couple of weeks now about this writ of mandamus. And I don't want you guys to think that I'm dragging my feet. I'm not. A lot of this stuff that I do, I go by feel. I can't explain it to you. I'm a very instinctive person. And I go by instincts. Now think about it. What if I had jumped the gun and did that? Right? And a bunch of you would have had it. And maybe you got in the court and it would not be as strong because what happened? What did I not discover yet? Well, I didn't discover the writ of quorum, the writ of non judice. Okay? That's the reason why. I have to make sure that my research is very, very sound. Before I want any of you guys to go to court, I don't want to embarrass you. Okay? And I don't want to embarrass myself. Here's the thing. Here's another thing about, getting a donation. By you giving me a donation, that means that I'm going to give you, I'm a very prideful person. I'm not going to give you anything half-assed. It also means I just can't say, well, you know what? I'm not getting anything out of this, so, I don't care. I do care now because you're giving me a donation. So it works both ways. You know what I'm saying? If you can understand. So it means that I'm bound by your donation to do the best that I can. And I get a lot of emails in return when they get my paperwork. I get a lot of wows. Okay? So if anybody out there, there's a couple of you out there, I know you're probably, you know, a little leery. I get it. There's a lot of comment out there, but I can tell you this. My paperwork's original. I don't borrow from anybody. My paperwork comes from here, from my research, and I put it on paper. I don't borrow from anybody. One of my subs reached out to me. The poor guy got ripped off by, you know, another YouTuber. And, you know, I'm curious. I go, would you mind just, you know, I just want to see, I don't want to say competition. I'm not in competition with anybody. Okay? I'm not. That's why whenever somebody takes a jab at me out there, I don't mention their name. And I do that on purpose. One, I have a lot more subscribers than these knuckleheads. So I don't want any of my subscribers running over to watch this idiot's video. Okay? One idiot, I get more subscribers in a week than he's had in a few months. Okay? So, but, you know, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, the guy sent me over a copy of, and I read it, and it's the same crap that's going around I've read before. You know, and the guy charged him $800, and it was like a page-and-a-half affidavit. Just one affidavit, this guy charged him fucking $800. Okay? And it doesn't do a fraction of what my paperwork does. I mean, I have over 30 affidavits for a bunch of different scenarios. And I charge far less than $800. As I told you guys, you know, I'm not allowed to say what I ask for the donation because that's soliciting. I'm not soliciting. Okay? I prepared documents. I'm willing to share it. I'm willing to share it with you for a donation. I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling any service. If you have questions about the paperwork, I answer the questions. Okay? That's the way it works. But, you know, as I said before, I get a lot of wows. People are pleasantly surprised by what they get. And whenever I get a reaction, you know, a response from the court, I like to post it on the, you know, on my videos to show you guys, to give you hope, and to show you that, you know, from what I understand, the you know, this paperwork, they don't even get a response. Nothing. Okay? And, you know, the response we get a lot of times is you know, fraud. Well, you'll get an attorney misrepresenting stuff. I mean, this is all usable stuff. When when it's time to go to that next level down the road, you know, hopefully, you know, we get the money back, then we can go and sue these people. You know, that's down the road. We just want to get them to stop and then get the money back. You know, I'm in the course of eventually getting my money back. I can't talk about it here because I'm being watched. All right? And I don't want to give away my game plan. But, again, quorum non judice, not judici. Writ of error quorum nobis. And what's very important, when you're in there, what's going on here, and remember, the jurisdiction comes from the evidence introduced by the petitioner or by the claimant. So you got to stay, you know, you got to stay on course, as what the guy Rob Class said. You got to, you know, you just can't stop on the jurisdiction. Now, if you watch my video, I started, but that's how I got him the issue to stay. I didn't want to push it too hard because I didn't want him running. I didn't want him abandoning ship. That's what they do. That's what it's called. Whenever these, fake judges or these judges, you watch these videos and they get up and walk away, they're abandoning ship. Because the whole scenario is an admiralty court. So they abandon ship. And once they abandon ship, what are you going to do to get them to come back on board? You're left with the muscle, with the court officers. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want him to run away. But when you're, you gotta this paperwork that I'm talking about for you guys is when you're responding for the first time, or let's just say you have an upcoming hearing. This is when you file this stuff. All right, and I prepared a demand for a jury trial. That's going to go with the paperwork. The writ of discovery, right? Because we want to discover what evidence they had. Because remember, they were going to issue a default order if you don't show up. Well, that default order is supposed to be based upon the evidence introduced by the petitioner, the claimant. Okay? There is none, but they're supposed to. All right? So, these three things, as I told you the other day, what we're doing is we're getting them on the defensive instead of you being on the defensive. They're not going to be used to this. Most guys just show up. They show up with their checks and their financial disclosure stuff, and right away they start focusing on, well, did you bring your stuff? No, hold on a second. Before we proceed, we have a couple of things here we need to discuss. This court needs to show me that the evidence introduced by the petitioner in support of the claims made given this court jurisdiction. Until this has been established, we can't move forward. That's it. You understand, people? That's what you got to do. And you can't waver. Please don't, because once you move on to the next thing, you can't go back. All right? So that's what you have to do. You have an upcoming hearing coming up. You've been subscribed to me. You made a donation. If I haven't given it to you already, reach out to me. I'll give it to you. If you donated already. If you haven't, you should think about it. Okay? It's very important that you get them on the defensive. You understand? All right, so listen, enjoy the rest of your Father's Day, okay? And I'll talk to you guys soon, okay? Bye.